Okay, checking.
Give it to me like.
Hello again. Welcome to check-in day. This was a 2-week check-in on the P Plus manicure that I did. So you can see the color held up really well. One of the main issues, which I mentioned in my first video, which is capping my free edge. You can see that I did not cap them well enough. The other issue is backfilling. One thing I really should have done is made sure that I should have backfilled this, some of these nails a little bit more, just to make sure that as my nail was growing out, it didn't just start to distort the shape, because that's what ended up happening. It sort of became a little bit too thick on the end. So I really should have put a little more, maybe a thicker base underneath and or top coat on top, just to make sure. Other than that, beautiful coverage, amazing. Okay, so for the removal process, I'm going to start with my Light Elegance Perfect File. I'm going to use the rougher side. And all we want to do is, I want to make sure that I'm just starting to break through the surface there of the polish. So we're going to start with the 100 grit side. And all I'm going to do here is, I want to make sure I'm breaking through that top layer. So as you can see, it's starting to make like little holes sort of in that top layer of the polish. I want to get through the top coat, and I want to get through the main gel color. That's the most important. We want to allow that acetone to be able to penetrate through there. So you'll notice that some of, like, these ones are a little bit harder. This is a little bit harder to sort of pull through. It's not getting as deep as I'm hoping, so you can always switch up to the e-file. I find e-filing is just much easier. So if you notice right there, right away, it's already sort of breaking through that top layer much better. I've heard it described as, you want to make it look like Swiss cheese. So all those little holes, and all those little holes are going to be really important for the next stage, which is when we're going to wrap our nails. Because once that acetone once those nails are wrapped, the acetone is going to be able to really just seep into those open polish sections, and really get in and break up everything that we need to just sort of fall off nicely. So I'm going to just keep sort of breaking through, and we'll do the other hand a little faster for you. Okay, so now what you're going to need for soak off. Tin foil. I use tin foil. I cut it into little squares. Some cotton pads. I just used some facial cotton pads. Acetone. I filled this with professional grade acetone. I just put it in my little bottle. You need a little pair of scissors, because I cut these in half so that I can make more out of them. and also a cuticle pusher, which I don't have at this point, but I will. Okay, so I've wrapped my thumb at this point. What you want to do is I take half of one, I douse it in an acetone, I get it really saturated, so it's soaking. You're gonna wrap the nail. I just wrap it right around the nail, just keep it tight around the nail, and then I put shiny side in so that you keep the heat in, and just wrap. I could have cut these a little bit smaller. They're slightly big, but they do the trick. Okay, so we'll just continue on with the rest of our nails, and then we're going to leave them to soak for 5 to 15 minutes. Okay, so I've completed my right hand off camera. So I wrapped my left hand, and now we're going to, well, I've left them for about 10 minutes at this point, and we're going to use our cuticle pusher. And first, let's see sort of what it looks like under here, but we're going to use the cuticle pusher to gently remove everything underneath. So you can see how it's already started to flake off. Now this process should be easy. Once you have a cuticle pusher, you should be able to just sort of flake it right off the nail. If for any reason that you're finding that it's still a little rough, like I noticed some of these sections I didn't actually file it enough, so there's not enough acetone that's been soaked in. So I've just grabbed my perfect file, and I'm just roughing it up a little bit more. And this one we're going to need to soak a little bit longer, I think, because it's not coming off easily with the cuticle pusher or the nail file. So I'm just going to put it back in and leave it for a little bit longer. So we'll do the rest of our nails. We'll remove the rest of my 4 fingers here, and we'll just let that one soak a little longer. Okay, but you can see already, so this is a smaller nail, and it looks like the acetone got in a little better on here, so, but you can see this is how easily it should just, you shouldn't even have to scrape hard. Just push down sort of on the polish, and it should really just all, flake off really nicely. And just keep on doing that until you've got it all off. And there we go. This process should be really easy. What I found was 10 minutes really wasn't enough. 15 minutes seems to be the perfect time. And then you've got a nice, clean, easily soaked off polish and a beautiful nail. And there we go. Okay, so here my middle finger also needs to go back in, so I'm just pouring some acetone into my little wrap, fitting it back on. We're going to leave that one while I remove the remainder, or the remaining 2 nails, okay? Now, so these last 2 nails have been soaking the longest, but you can see the difference. This is probably a full 15-minute soak for these last two nails, and just look how easy the removal process is. Another thing to make sure, to consider is you don't want to damage the natural nail. So the easier this just peels right off naturally, the better. And then I'm just going to shorten because we're just going to clean up these nails and give them a little file. But there we go. Make sure they match as far as length goes. And then there's the thumb. So that one's had another, 5 minutes, and you can just see the difference there. And once we are done soaking, we're going to cleanse the nails. So I'm just getting all of that sort of remaining dust and debris off. Just using my regular isopropyl alcohol, a little bit of acetone, and just getting them nice and tidy. And there we go. And then we're going to go and resaturate, remoisturize. Okay, so I'm going to use my Nail Career Education cuticle oil, and I'm just going to put it on all of my nails, on all the cuticles, saturate it into the nail plate, under the nails. Just reintroduce that moisture. And I'm actually going to leave my nails like this for a couple days. But I'm just smothering them in cuticle oil. And there you have it.